We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Thursday, February 27th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and welcome to News Generation. Joining us today is Cheska Dainho.
Happy Thursday, everyone!
Happy Thursday! And Park Kyun.
Thank you for having me again.
Welcome back. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. As usual, we're going to begin with our keyword news. Our keyword for this Thursday is birth rate. Now, for years, South Korea has held the unwanted title of having the world's lowest birth rate, but now it appears that we're finally seeing a glimmer of hope. The latest data from Statistics Korea show that 238,000 babies were born last year, and this is a 3.6% increase from the year before, marking the first rebound in 9 years. Meanwhile, the total fertility rate, which is the average number of babies a woman is expected to have in her lifetime, inched up to 0.75, a slight rise from 0.72 in 2023. So what do you think? What's behind the uptick in these numbers?
Right, so this uptick is largely contributed to the surge in marriages, which went up 14.9%.
Wow.
As many couples proceeded with marriages after holding it back during the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite this slight hopeful uptick, the fertility rate still remains the lowest globally and significantly below the threshold of 2.1, which is required for population stability.
Right.
And despite the South Korean government implementing new measures to tackle these demographic challenges, it still remains to be seen whether this will be like a long-term trend or not, because experts are saying it's a very like a short-term kind of just uptick for now. Yeah.
Right, so we'll definitely have to see further numbers by Statistics Korea. But just I mean, low birth rate has been a very familiar topic here on News.
We've discussed it very frequently
right.
together.
I think we discussed it like a few weeks ago. But what do you think? Do you see this as a positive sign? Do you think this uptick will stay and continue, or do you think this is something temporary?
You know, I definitely think the people who are writing the article were very excited because it is a positive trend.
Right, in almost a decade.
In almost a decade, right? And it's interesting to see the influx. And as Kyun mentioned, I think the COVID-19 played a huge role because even among my friend group, 2 of my friends are actually getting married in a couple of months back to back. So there are a lot of marriages that are happening. Congratulations. But the article also pointed out the fact that we have actually less population in the 20s demographics who will become the 30s and the new parents. So I think we will have to be a little bit more cautious and conservative in seeing how the numbers change. But I think this is something that we just have to watch out for a long time. Yeah.
Right, and although there's still a long way to reach that magic number 2.0 that you mentioned, I think that this might be a start of a positive sign.
It could be.
It could be.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And that was our keyword news for this Thursday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. Thursday is when we explore the Korean wave and the global appeal of Korean culture. Take a look at the screen to find out more. If there's one thing many of us can't go a day without, it's coffee. It fuels office workers, students, and just about anyone who needs a boost. But in Korea, coffee is more than just caffeine. With an expanding selection of specialty brews and unique flavors, coffee culture here has evolved into something truly special. Coffee is indeed the fuel that keeps us going all day long. So today we're going to talk about the latest on Korea's coffee culture. So starting off, I want to ask our panelists a very fun and interesting question.
Yes.
What is your go-to coffee order?
Oh my God. I mean, I can talk about this for all day, but my main is espresso. I even have a machine at home, and it's one of my greatest joy in the morning to scoop up a fresh ground coffee.
Really? In the morning? Wow.
In the morning, yeah. I even have a grinder. I'm very analog, so I like to grind my own beans, kind of smell it, and then press it in, stamp it, and then put it in the machine, and like just see it drip. And it's one of the greatest joys, just getting your hands on in the morning, smelling the aroma of everything. But I worked at cafes before too, so the entire process just makes me so happy. And I'm someone who always wants to have a little bit of sweet on the side, so I would pair it with like dark chocolate, like croissants, scones, I mean, you name it. Like the dessert has to always be there.
You are indeed a coffee person.
Totally a coffee addict, committed coffee addict.
Not just a coffee person, but a coffee addict. What about you, Kyun?
Cheska has that barista image.
Right.
Thank thank you.
Hey.
What can I get for you today?
I'm actually an 얼주가.
Oh, what does that mean?
얼주가 meaning that you would have an iced Americano even on a very cold day. Even if you have a cold like me, I would actually, if I had the choice to have a drink right now, I'll probably have an iced Americano over a hot one.
Even now when you're
Even if I were to die tomorrow, or even now, I'll probably have an iced Americano. I usually have 2 cups of coffee every day with an extra shot. So I can get the extra like aroma, scent, smelling, and also the deepness of high quality beans. When I do have time, I would drop by a local coffee shop that actually roasts their own coffee beans. And the moment you actually walk into these shops, the smell of
The
coffee
aroma,
beans,
yeah.
it's very soothing. It's almost therapeutic, and it becomes a whole new experience. And if you're interested in coffee beans, you talk to the owners, and they'll just give you like a whole lecture because they're so passionate about coffee.
Right.
It's very different to like franchises where you just pop in, get your coffee and get out, or just study there. But when I do have time, I like to drop by these kind of like specialty coffee roasters and enjoy my coffee.
You seem like a coffee enthusiast yourself.
Kind of, but not as much as Cheska.
Okay. Right. So in recent years, like Cheska and Kyun, a lot of Koreans are now consuming coffee, and Korea has been getting global attention for its love for this drink, with people consuming way more cups per year than the global average. So Cheska, could you walk us through some of this relevant data?
Yeah, absolutely. So in Korea, we have a saying called 커피 수혈. Literally means caffeine transfusion to keep the engine running throughout the day. So Koreans, myself included, love, and I would perhaps say are bordering on like commitment versus addiction to caffeine. So according to the Euromonitor, the International Market Research Organization, in 2023, annual consumption of coffee per person in Korea far surpassed that of global average. So if you look at the screen, Koreans average 405 cups. Now, if we do the calculation, that's more than 1 cup every single day for a year. And that's almost 3 times more than the global average. Now, in fact, coffee import has also increased to about 220,000 tons, which is 5% more than the previous year. And given that we are already importing so much coffee already, we're seeing more increase year by year, which is kind of surprising.
Right, and I think that many of our viewers will relate, but it's quite hard to imagine life without coffee now.
Yeah, it's almost a staple. It's like there are some people who say, I don't have to eat, but I need my coffee. Yeah.
And if I can quote Thomas Jefferson, he said that, what did he say? Yeah, coffee is a favorite beverage in the civilized world.
Oh, so it was popular even back in
back in the days
the Thomas
as well.
Jefferson era. Okay.
Right, and this passion for coffee is also reflected in the number of big coffee brands and franchises across the country, right, Kyun?
Of course, Starbucks. We cannot talk about Starbucks,
Right.
In Korea. As of last month, there were a total of 2,009 Starbucks locations in South Korea, making it the 3rd country with the most Starbucks locations after the United States and China. In terms of stores per capita, Korea actually surpasses China. And you can even find Starbucks in rural areas, in small villages, or even in like Jeju-do Island, and even in airports in Korea. And on KakaoTalk's gift-giving platform, Starbucks ranks the 2nd most popular brand, with 3 out of top 5 most gifted vouchers being Starbucks gift certificates. And according to Starbucks, the most popular drink in Korea is Americano, of course. And 4 out of the top 5 best-selling beverages are coffee-based. And no wonder there was a term called 스세권 in terms of the real estate industry, where people had to have, they had to make sure there was Starbucks within a walking distance from your place, because there was so that's how popular Starbucks is. Especially here in Seoul, you'll see Starbucks in every corner.
Literally, though.
Literally every corner, and they each have their own different kind of interior as well. And I think people appreciate that. And on top of that, they have their own goods.
Right.
Yeah.
The mugs,
Special
the
edition,
tumblers.
the mugs, the tumblers. Ladies love it. Also men as well. Not me, but I think the way they market is just unbelievable, and especially with the KakaoTalk gift vouchers, it's like one of the most easiest gifts to give on someone's birthday.
This is all proof that Korea is in a huge love affair with coffee. Now, we want to tweeze out the differences here because for older generations in Korea, coffee culture revolved around the so-called mixed coffee. I think we talked about this on Newsroom before, which is the convenient instant coffee sticks that blend coffee, cream, and sugar. If you haven't tried it, please try it out because it's super sweet and super good. And then came the iced Americano revolution, which our panelists talked about, earning the nickname Orjuga, which once again means I'll drink iced Americanos even if I freeze to death. So we're now going to look at some of the latest coffee trends. So Cheska, any stand-up cafes or drinks that you'd like to introduce?
Yes, so I love how you say we had a coffee revolution and we're now going through this different...
It's like a coffee saga, right?
Yeah, it's like saga of like how coffee is evolving here in South Korea. But I can definitely speak for this trend that we're about to talk about because I have long been the MZ who have enjoyed it. It's espresso bar. So I've been to a few here in Seoul and there actually weren't that many when I started going about 3 years ago. Now I actually see a lot more and the venue, usually you can tell by it being very small and very unique and they have standing bars. Now this comes from the Italian way of drinking where Italians would just pop in these espresso bars and take a shot of espresso during the day to get their caffeine going. But in Korea, they have some really lovely, like quaint sitting cafes where you can do like multiple shots of espresso, like shot cups, and you can take a picture. So I've done a few myself, and honestly, I think I take on average 4 to 5 espresso shots like each week because I definitely love going to these places.
I mean, espresso bars, I think they're relatively new when it comes to talking about Korea's coffee culture. So are they like spread across all the country, Cheska? Or are there any like spots or areas that you'd like to recommend?
Oh, so this is the trend that I've noticed recently. Back 3 years ago when I just started frequenting or searching these espresso bars, they would be very dispersed and like located in these like special hideout spots that you would have to go just for the espresso bar. Nowadays, they're more in the populated area, like Seongsu-dong, which we talked about is one of the hot places, Hongdae. Like you can still see a lot of cool espresso bars in Gangnam area too. Yeah.
Well, you heard it, guys. Espresso bars in Korea. And Kyun, I heard that there are also some very unique fresh recipes that young people are coming up.
Right, so among MZ generations, mixing coffee with other beverages has become a new popular trend these days. One example is ashachu. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a mix of espresso with iced tea.
Yeah, very unique combination.
Which was initially considered as like a bizarre mix, but now it's become so viral and mainstream that almost every cafe actually offers it in their menu.
Right.
And another trend gaining attention in Korea is a recipe that mixes banana milk with coffee.
Oh, wonder what that tastes like.
Because they sell banana milks in convenience stores. I'm pretty sure many of our viewers actually know what it is. And it became like actually trending abroad, and it came back to Korea. So this launch of this banana shot Americano or even a banana shot latte is in most menus in most franchise
Very
cafes,
fascinating.
yeah.
A lot to try out.
I think that one I can give it a shot. But ashachu, I'm still on the edge. I don't think I'm very hip and trendy enough.
Well,
the older generation used to just put syrup in.
Yeah, yeah.
But now
It's
our
completely
generation,
different.
we like to put a new twist.
Yeah.
So like adding banana milk
Right.
or like iced tea. It sounds pretty sweet, but I'm not that type who enjoys coffee in a sweeter sense.
We are indeed giving a big shot to a change in our coffee culture. So to compare Korea's coffee culture with other countries, we're now going to invite a young person from Italy, a nation known for its rich coffee heritage and traditions. After a short break, stay with us. Oh, and before we go on to our interview, I'm sorry, we also asked our viewers first to share their favorite coffee recipes. So we're first going to check out what 3 of our viewers recommended, and then we're going to connect with a young person from Italy. Our first comment for this Thursday is by Roddy Russell Jr. 93. My favorite coffee is Cafe Mocha. It's a mix of hot chocolate and espresso, and I like hot chocolate. Rex Alex Maston says, I find the creamy, smooth, balanced, and rich flavor of cappuccino a great start with my morning breakfast. Affogato is a great way to combine my need for coffee and dessert after a delicious lunch or dinner. Our final comment for this Thursday is by Pak Daeon 85. My favorite is, the classic Americano. It's essential for me in the morning before I go to work. Right, morning without coffee is definitely like sleep. So right now, after the break, we're gonna connect with a young content creator from Italy to share insights about Italy's coffee culture.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang.News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
Welcome back. Joining us this Thursday morning is Hanteri, an Italian millennial content creator. Welcome to the show.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us. So, Hanteri, we first want to ask you, as we mentioned a bit earlier, Italy is, of course, world famous for its deep-rooted coffee culture. So, could you tell us some of Italy's standout features when it comes to coffee?
Coffee is the most important part of our life, I might say. It's part of our daily life, and it's not just a drink. So for us, it's tradition, it's about simplicity, and it's about speed. So for us, coffee must be traditional and must be drunk really fast. And it's also really simple. So as you said, espresso is the basis for us. And we also have the bar culture, the espresso bar culture, but for us, just the bar. So bar in Italian means coffee shop. So if you go to Italy, you will see this bar everywhere around every city. And they open really early in the morning, so around like 5 or 6 a.m. And you will see a lot of Italian people being there, socialize, have their coffee really fast, and then go to work or go to do their own daily life things. And another thing that I might say it's really strict in Italy is that we have our coffee etiquette. So if you're in Italy, you should never have cappuccino after lunch. So cappuccino is okay just in the morning, it's not okay in the afternoon. So we have these strange rules. And another thing, I might say, it's really cheap, it's affordable. So for us, coffee, it's something we need every day. So one cup of coffee, usually it's around €1, €1.50. So it's really affordable compared, especially to Korea.
I love how Italy has a philosophy and this very serious etiquette when it comes to coffee, because it shows how committed you are in the coffee culture. But what's the most popular type of coffee in Italy, would you say?
I think that's an easy one.
Espresso?
When we say coffee in Italy, we say one coffee, please. We mean just espresso. So if you go to a coffee shop and say one coffee, then you're gonna get an espresso. For us, espresso is the basis for everything. We also, everyone in every family, they own a mocha machine. So we make our own coffee at home, or we just go to a bar and we have espresso usually in the morning, also after meals and during breaks. So yeah, espresso is the most drank one. And if you like it to be a little bit lighter, then we also have espresso macchiato. So we put a little bit of milk foam on it and we make it less strong. And I actually prefer to have espresso macchiato. So usually girls, they prefer to have espresso macchiato compared to espresso. And espresso is more of a strong man thing. And another one, as I say, we also have cappuccino a lot in the morning. So espresso is the first one, and then the second one is going to be a cappuccino, but just in the morning.
Got it.
Maybe I should change to having espressos from now on instead of iced americano,
Be
like
a
a real
strong man.
man, like a real strong
Like a strong
man.
man.
Okay. Lastly, how do you think Italy's coffee culture compares with that of the Korean coffee culture? What are some similarities, if there are any, or differences that stand out to you?
Well, I might say I've been living in Korea for the past 10 years, and it was a bit difficult for me at the beginning because in Korea you have so many different kind of coffees, and I was not used to that. Like for me, as I said, when I go to a coffee shop, then it's going to be just one coffee, please, and it's just one option usually, or 3 options. But in Korea, you have so many options that I think that's one of the main differences between our 2 countries. We tend to be more traditional. And even though we have some regional differences, we still have just, like, our menu is really, really small. But in Korea, you have so much. Like, I think that for us, bar is just a place where we spend a couple of minutes, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we talk a little bit, and then we just go. But in Korea, it's just an experience. So you have they put so much effort into the design and and all the different kind of coffee styles they have. So every single coffee shop is a bit different. So it's really fun to go here and there. Whereas in Italy, you will find the same coffee in every single coffee shop. So I think that's one of the main differences. And also the fast, like we just, as I say, we don't spend that much time. But in Korea, they spend a lot of time in coffee shops to, especially like to study or work or just meet friends for hours. And that was really interesting at first when I came. And another, I think, that's the main difference, I think. And something that is similar, I think, coffee is a big part for us, and coffee is a big part for Koreans too. So we cannot live without coffee, actually. And I think that's the most similar part for both for our countries.
Couldn't agree with you more. All right, Hanteri, an Italian millennial content creator, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right, so as we wrap up our show today, we're going to get some coffee recommendations from our panelists because a good day can start with a great cup of coffee, I think.
Yes, and a good day can even become better with a great coffee.
It can be the best day.
Best day, I like that, yeah.
So please give your go-to coffee recommendations, or also could you please share your unique coffee recipe?
Oh, okay. Just like our interviewer said, I'm definitely an espresso girl. I'm a strong girl, so I would love to do an espresso to get that kickstart. But there's one recipe that I've actually tried, which I quite like, and people can try it. It's very easy. You get a shaker, you get an espresso shot, pour a little bit of oat or soy milk, and then put ice, and then put a little bit of cinnamon powder.
Wow.
And then just shake it. Just shake everything.
Like cocktail?
Yeah, literally like cocktail. Get a pretty like glass and then pour it out. And then you get this really nice foam and like a rich cinnamon hint in this kind of iced latte. So I would definitely recommend that you try this. Yeah.
That sounds like a delicacy.
Yeah, it is.
Then what about you, Gia? What do you suggest?
Unfortunately, I don't have my own recipe because I like everything simple. But if I do have time and I'm at home, I usually make my own coffee, whether it's not, I don't have a grinder myself, but I'll have like drip coffee or just coffee I can just mix with water, hot water, and just all you need is like just ice cubes to have your own coffee. And I noticed that recently coffee prices have been going up slightly.
Right.
That's true.
So it has become very costly, almost as expensive as a meal. So if you do have time at home, why not make a cup of coffee at home instead of just going outside, spending too much money. 'Cause right now, we're going through a tough time
And also
economically.
coffee making is really an experience.
It is as
You
well.
just get that time with yourself
Right.
to go through that entire process, and then at the end of it, you get a nice coffee, sit with it, maybe read or think a little bit. Yeah.
Absolutely. So hope our discussion today helps you find your cup of joy. And that's all for this Thursday's episode of News Generation, but we will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks to Cheska Dain, huh?
Pleasure's always mine. Thank you.
Thank you. And Park Ki-yoon.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for watching, and see you on Friday. We are News Generation.